But I feel like champion strength just being a I win button in every other matchup is probably like I think they're in a good spot. Elites are proper. I definitely would put Karma Set above this deck, but because of the atrocious ladder win rate, like we can't properly recognize that Karma Set is S. Like true S tier decks, you know, anybody can pick them up and just like have a 56% win rate. You know what I mean? But to be fair, sometimes there are decks that are so strong that you just can't ignore them, even if the ladder win rate is super low, like Lee Sin and Rise. So Karma Set probably should be like bottom of S at the very least. Oh, we get to play GWEN QUINN now. This is the most I have 9 overpowered cards that didn't rotate, so therefore my deck is strong as all get out I've ever seen. That's what I mean, like +4/+4 scout. There's no Rite of Negation in the metagame. This meta showcase stream is actually really cool. Good idea. It's rare that you get to see me play good decks. And I just want y'all to know that sometimes playing a good deck... Oh no, we don't want to play Triple Relentless Pursuit. Versus Sundisk? Nasus Renekton? What the... Ooh. Are we cooked? It's refreshing to see how much harder it is to homebrew. I get it, man. Yeah, you just gotta stun everything. I was thinking, do we just like hard mulligan for Opulent Foyer? That's probably the play in like 90% of matchups. I also mean that seeing streamers will just play 1 to 2 decks they want, but seeing all the decks played is really interesting. Yeah, just Greatest Hits Edition, baby. We started from B rank, and now we're climbing and playing better decks as we climb. I like the open attack here. 5 damage. I know from experience that Sundisk cannot keep up with this deck.
We love it when they run.
Is it better to float mana? No, we just keep curving. We keep curving and swerving on him. Do they have Renekton, Kun?
Renekton, I found something special for you.
If it bleeds, it's special enough.
But isn't it crazy that with 0 practice and barely looking at the deck, you're able to win with them? Curse of the Tomb! Oh no! Okay, I guess I'll take 11 damage. Sheesh! Renekton leveled up! Bruh! This is how you use emotes, right there. That's how emotes work, chat. Lord have mercy on my soul. So if I play Phantom Butler, we have mana for Opulent Foyer. What if they have Siphoning Strike? Desert Duel! Holy shit! Be gone, Renekton! Hate Spike! We almost got smote, chat. We almost got smote in there. What's nice here is that we can attack and GWEN will share the Hallowed stacks.
You're dead meat.
Okay, so how do we lose? They need to have Renekton, Curse of the Tomb, Ruthless Predator, and snatch up my husk and just 2-shot me.
Arda's gonna make a meal of them.
I play Opulent Foyer, summoning a ghastly band. Oh no, my GWEN died. Not so fast, Kaiba. I play Opulent Foyer, giving me another ghastly band. I'm playing Leona Darius and countering all Shadow Isles control at EU. Is that normal? Yeah. EU loves control. And I was playing against Mad Viego yesterday. It's just the cycle of the meta. Now that people have played with the new stuff, they're like, yep, actually, it's better to put the Hallowed stacks on the Phantom Butler because this can't block Fearsome. Damn. Easy. Holy. This deck is not okay. I'm telling y'all, like, you see how it works. Actually, busted nonsense deck. Anywho. Ooh, ASHE LeBlanc is back up in rotation. 1 here to help. 3 Glory Seekers from Trappers. It's so weird to me when these Frostbite decks only main deck 1 Flash Freeze. I feel like this card is way stronger than that. The deck list is very tight, though, so I understand. Revna's cute. Because sometimes, you know, you float LeBlanc on 3, then you have here to help, and then your opponent's like Mystic Shot will whiff, you get another attack in, that kind of stuff. And I guess theoretically, if you're smart with ASHE, you're going to have more Flash Freezes. Oh, it's Darkness. Speak of the devil. 3 Vhagar, 2 Nora, 1 Senna. We definitely want to keep Reckoning in this matchup. And we keep Iceveil Archer to stop Catalyzer and possibly Nora. That's the deck I just win against? Yeah, I figured. Damn, this is tragic. There's Vhagar. Brickaroni and cheese. Pass. Here goes nothing. Shing. I always loved that animation for Reckoning, the way the blade comes out of the center of the board. We need more, like, big spells like that. And it was so weird that they did that.
I make the darkness your own.
The ironic thing is that if you don't play any units, then they can't cast Darkness on you, but I have to develop to board.
I will shape death as easily as clay. Life is cyclical. Darkness ends.
Man, I really, really hate Ishtali Sentinel. ASHE LeBlanc running Pirouette definitely makes a lot of sense. I agree.
Line up.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough matchup. Yeah, Pirouette is super good. I'll cut the Revna. It's like Revna draws you a card, but we saw there, we had just double Assessor in hand. And this is how it felt yesterday when we were playing this deck, where we were like bricking and playing really slow, but we were still winning somehow. I think that ASHE is maybe a little bit too meta dependent, so it's kind of weird to see it like in S tier. Oh, Viego. They fixed the bug with Frostbite denying Viego's level up. What? Why? On my 1/1? No shot. Yeah, you've got to play Assessor. And my opponent's in Shurima. I wonder why that is. I guess so you have Quicksand to beat FIZZ in them. Deals 3. Got Elixir of Iron. Man, the husks, though. Oh, that's right. They got Heedless. Yeah. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense, because then you get Rite of Negation. It gives you about the same amount of, like, defensive utility. I'm going to Sigil of Malice this to deny the card draw. Pass. Don't play Glory Seeker here. Keep the mana up for Elixir of Iron.
Sharpen the blade, secure.
Haunted Tomb is just going to bring back Ceaseless Sentry. Ooh. We're going to open attack for 10 damage here.
The black rose blooms once more.
You could develop the Trifarian Assessor there.
Only the finest serve.
If you wanted to, like, you play the Assessor in order to keep the Glory Seeker up to maybe pull a Viego to the side. Their hand is terrible. Like, they went for that Glimpse Beyond on a Husk, just praying, and I just so happened to double draw LeBlanc and have Sigil of Malice. Normally, there's no way for this to interfere with that play. I'm gonna pass. My opponent shouldn't attack me here. Oh, never mind.
This will be quick.
Thank you. I will activate Reputation and Rally. I wonder if my opponent's like, oh no, what have I done? Sheesh. Double Elixir of Iron.
First let the blood, then stop the heart.
Yeah, our hand was just godlike this game. Like, night and day from this game and last game. We had, like, answers. That's gonna be the big factor with ASHE LeBlanc. It's bricky, but you get a lot of mileage out of just being naturally favored in a lot of board-based matchups. And the Pirouette, I think, is definitely smelly. I like it a lot. All right, we're up to SAMIRA LEONA. This is another deck that's just very play good thing, attack, do smart, curve, attack, and you win. Leona's got a new girlfriend, and she's a bad influence. Like, the fact that it costs less when you plunder is just icing on the cake. It should not have that extra line of text. You're farming this deck with Cannon? Oh my Jesus. Now we gotta play against Frostbite, not like this. We win by having a really, really good early curve, and we're looking for Sun Guardian. All right, we got Sun Guardian, Guardian of the Sun.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Damn. I'll opt not to take 5 damage. If I'm being honest, I think you maybe could take 5, develop Sun Guardian, attack, because this can't block, and then next turn your opponent might be forced to develop into Sunhawk, and then you stun this. But I digress. Ooh, SAMIRA! Yeah, I gotta go for SAMIRA here so I can flare to clear this Glory Seeker. I'm seeing the pressure now, Chad. I understand why this card is good. I'm seeing it now. You have to answer this before you get to do anything else, and not a lot of decks can do that, especially decks like this. But at the same time, I feel like you're already favored in this matchup, and the Glory Seeker is just being annoying about it. So here's the strat. You put Challenger on the Sunhawk, so they don't get value of being able to clear the SAMIRA on this turn. They're just going to Frostbite and get this clear instead. Or maybe they don't want to Frostbite because they aren't getting the kill on SAMIRA. I guess that you do it both anyway. If you have the Frostbite, you get 2 reputation procs. Here to help. Okay. If it's that important to you. I wonder if my opponent's going to do the... I was going to say, I wonder if my opponent's just going to do the pass and then just make me float mana. Well, Sun Guardian. Oh. Cool. Chilling. This is a weird matchup. I'm honestly not even certain who's favored. But if I'm being perfectly honest, it's probably ASHE LeBlanc.
We fight for one Freljord.
Yeah, the stats are a bit of an oof. Ugh, do I have to flare this LeBlanc? I think so. This is very sad, but I think I need to force this. This covers Elixir of Iron, just so that she doesn't level up, and I have a quick attack unit shoving itself down my throat. We got to take 7 here. That's very good for me, because Revna's an incredibly slow play. So now we can play Leona and stun the Hearthguard. Okay, now I think we kind of, we stabilize from here. Now it's my opponent's like, I need Reckoning or I die.
Glorious light rains down.
Oh, they've got Blooded Business. Damn. Man, one-sided strikes are so good. Yeah, I just got to play Ravun.
Sun will not set today. The War Mother will unite us all.
Sheesh. It's a big boy. I'm going to play Shield Bearer.
Shining sunlight.
Just keep another blocker in. Keep on chumping down. Just try to buy time to build towards our next idea.
Our strength is yours.
Another Hearthguard. No Reckoning, so we can keep extending now. Sunhawk. We're going to save Morning Light for when Leona comes down.
Secure the kill. I'll cut them apart.
GG Ravun.
Face me.
Oh, they're going to value trade?
Will lead
Super
the
good.
way.
Thank you for letting me keep my Ravun. Then we play Samira.
Or lose the chance.
Really hoping for Leona.
A few moments later.
Yeah, it's just impossible for me to, like, aggress into this board at all. And then the longer I wait, the higher the chance that ASHE just... I think we're just in a downward spiral from here, chat. Yeah, I'm just wasting everybody's time by participating in this matchup. Oof. Okay, I get it. This is a deck that kind of beats down on everything else, but because it's board-based, we get mopped up by Frostbite. There still might be a line for us to get a very aggressive curve, because our curve started at, like, Sun Guardian. So we want a hard mulligan for, like, 1-drops. Okay. 1-drop. So they got it here. Yeah, into Star Shaping. Well played. Man. I think the meta is kind of shifting against this deck. It feels too honest, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, chat. This deck is, like, giga fair. I'm surprised that it's S tier. I think that it was catching a lot of decks by surprise by just having solid stats on curve and generally a lot of aggression, but I'm not buying it. I think I want more Pirouettes and a third Pale Cascade. It might just be my factor of the metagame where I'm running into a lot of more control-y stuff that's designed to beat this deck. But I think it's kind of funny that, like, I've like was breezing up the tier list and now, like, I can't seem to find a win with this thing. Kennen Alawi. So every time you summon a new tentacle, it does count for Kennen, but when you spawn a tentacle, it does not. I like this curve. Whenever I play against Pink Alawi, it snowballs on me really, really hard. I'm just going to play the Crimson Pigeon and take 2 from Kennen. So weird. Play Solari Soldier. It's criminal that Jack's boat doesn't search him. It definitely should. Definitely, you should draw Jack off of the King's Court. It's very weird. Well, Rip Mark of the Storm. Dang, I can't believe they double drew Kennen. Lucky. And we're just, of course, playing the Twilight Protector to get credit for Leona. So Sunhawk stuns the Tentacle. I have Alawi. So now I'm going to Pirouette. Tentacle Smash. That's fine.
Defend yourself.
Deal 1, stun. Yeah, I think this deck should definitely abuse Pirouette a little bit more. It gives you that stun pressure without needing to rely specifically on Leona. It's like how Annie Jin used to get a lot of mileage out of, like, having Stage Hand at the right time. And this seems to happen to me, like, every time. Where the Alawi deck has Alawi on curve and just does just ridiculous nonsense at you. So what's nice here is I get to play Leona on curve. She's leveled. Then next turn, I get to open with Solari Sunhawk. So we get another stun. 2 stuns with Leona and Sunhawk proccing, and it sets up for Pirouette to stun their 3rd development. And we put a barrier on Leona so she's immune to Tentacle Smash coming through. It's actually perfect. Yeah, the Pirouettes are godlike. Oh, they have Deny. That's fine.
Nice to meet you. I'm Isla.
Dang, Mirai Warden.
Don't ask for permission or forgiveness.
So, deal 1 to anything, stun. Yes, Pirouette is so ridiculous. Let's go. Finally got our win with that. Because I think we're at the top of the tier list now. Now we just play SAMIRA FIZZ and call it a day. I've seen some advocation for hired gun / heavy metal in this deck. But this is like the pure combo version. Like, you don't actually care about answering your opponent. You just want to clear them. Disintegrate to maybe get over one big thing. Is this better off being heavy metal? 1 Elixir of Wrath? We'll play it as is. But at least now we know there's a Disintegrate in here. The other thing about this deck for sure is you have to remember it's a combo deck. You can play this deck incredibly slowly. And as long as your opponent like taps down and lets you play Admiral Shelley, you're just so strong. But I have not played this deck yet. This is my first time playing it. So we'll see if just through osmosis I kind of have a grasp on how it should be done. This deck does have a decent skill ceiling to it, especially now with the metagame that's very prepared for it, like this one here. It's a really good example of a bad matchup. Fizz on turn 1, SAMIRA on 2.
Oh boy, here I go. Too slow.
Damn. Warning shot. My opponent plays Conch. If they don't play anything, I pass there. You don't play SAMIRA into their Mystic Shot. But since they played, we can play SAMIRA here. Any Caitlyn would probably be your favorite deck ever. I could definitely see it. I could definitely see it. Just damage the Nexus. We're playing for chip damage. Sumpworks map off of Conchologist. Very cool. Do I want to all out here? Nope. We'll let that through. They use their Fizz answer. We're just kicking back. My opponent plays Caitlyn. We can Pirouette. Actually broken. Damage the Nexus. Stun the Caitlyn. This activates Plunder, so we can play Father Fury.
Prepared for anything.
Timo, that is not regulation equipment.
Stylish shot? Lord. They don't want to attack? Fine by me. Because I'm just going to do Stylish Shot. Flare for Challenger. On the SAMIRA so I can pull Timo. Just completely ignore the Caitlyn. Get more chip damage with Father Fury. Get Stylish Shot back. They play Flash Bomb Peddler. So I can play Fleet Admiral Shelley and I attune. And then I can do Flare and Swindle to activate Fleet Admiral Shelley now that my opponent has tapped down. Yep, they're just going for Flash Bomb Peddler. They're going to try their very best to empty the board. So we're just going to Flare, deal 1 to the enemy Nexus. That discounts Burblefish to 0. So then I can play Burblefish for free. Get a spell and a tune. Then I Swindle, see what they are up to. Puffcap Peddler's Insider Knowledge. I guess I'll take the Insider Knowledge. Oh, and my SAMIRA leveled up. I wasn't even tracking it.
Just how I like it.
So now these flash bombs have to come through for my opponent really, really hard. Yep. And they surrender. Damn, that's supposed to be a good matchup, though. They didn't get their flash bombs online. They didn't get their flash bomb peddlers. You need those on turn 2 or you lose. I felt like I was in the driver's seat that whole time. I was thinking a lot. That's enjoyable. But this deck, it's like, if you're playing well, your opponent is on the precipice of doom. If they miss a beat or they misplay, it's not a hard enough counter because their draws are too draw dependent, if that makes sense. They have to draw the cards they need in order to actually counter you. It's not a mechanical counter the way some other counter matchups work, where the thing your deck is naturally doing is beating your opponent. And to be fair, the reason that deck beats me is because you play Inferna and Barbed Chain, and then you activate all the puff caps and flash bombs. But we literally didn't draw or play a single one of those cards. We just were very, very smart with the resources we had. Technically, the only card we drew was Swindle, right? We generated one spell off of Father Fury. We got a spell off of Burblefish and a spell off of Swindle. We generated 3 cards that game, and the rest of our top decks were just good. Samira decks don't care about what your deck does. I mean, this version of the deck certainly does not. And I had Fizz and then top decked Warning Shot. It was my opponent's fault for trying to remove Fizz. I talked about this during my session yesterday, where we discussed, Fizz should have rotated, is that it's always correct to save your removal for everything else except Fizz. Especially in that matchup, they just need to wait for a flash bomb to kill Fizz, because they were only going to take 2 damage, and then that group shot would have helped them against, like, Father Fury or something down the road. Yeah, that was my first game on this deck, but I've studied the deck by playing against it and by following a lot of the players who are on it on Twitter, because I need to know how these decks function for, like, when I cast tournaments and stuff. And our draws were pretty insane that game, right? Like, the Pirouette was nasty. We had the threat of all out the entire game, and our opponent just never went for a Mystic Shot or anything. Flare is so godlike. Just, oh, there's a bad trade, or they have an elusive blocker, we just pull it to the side. The way that you can cash in your Flare, strike, and get another one for next turn, and either it's a 1-mana Warning Shot, or you just sit on it to set up for your next attack with Challenger. This is a Rupin champion if I've ever seen one. Like, dear Lord, have mercy on our souls, what a champion. And I leveled up Samira by accident. I was not trying to set up for, like, oh, I need to save my mana and save my cards here so that Samira levels up with my attack token and I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing. I was just like, oh, wait, and Samira levels up. I was just doing best practices at my opponent, and then they died. Yeah, this was the final deck on the tier list. We won. We started all the way down at the bottom at, what's at the bottom of the tier list? Oh, Puff Caps. We lost with Aatrox Kayn, and we lost with Aatrox QUINN Vayne and Daybreak Samira. Those were our 3 losses, but we just won with everything else first try. All right, let's go to this website, this third-party website that shows me my match history, because Runeterra still doesn't have in-game match history, by the way. Where did we start off? This is a crazy rainbow of decks that we played today. So for today's session, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 14 and 5, 16 and 5. Wait, no, it's 16 out of 21. 76% win rate. Let's go.